Record.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Do you want me to do it again? I can.
I can pause it right now.
Okay. Okay. So here we are doing our Marshal training for the day of action, which is tomorrow, the National Day of Action to fight tuition fees or have free education. We'll talk more about that. So on with the slides. Here's our agenda for the session. So we're going to cover what is marshaling. And sorry if you see typos, because I feel like in the British spelling of Marshall, there's maybe two L's, and in the American version, there's only one L. It's confusing. But anyway, we'll go over what marshaling is, why rally, why we're having the rally or action tomorrow. We're going to go over the route leaving from TMU and where our rally will be in front of the Student Center, and then go over timing, safety first, just some safety things, and then contact information. Actually, I should have cut that from this because we actually don't really require, well, we'll talk about our own sharing our cell phone numbers just so we can be in touch if necessary in case something comes up on the march. And then we'll talk about police, what to do if we encounter them, or who knows. Hopefully we don't see very much police. We'll talk more about that, and then incidents, what to do, and then general tips about having a great day tomorrow, and what to expect. So what is marshaling? So, oh, we have someone just joining us. Maybe, was it another TMAPS account?
Hi, Lyndall, it's Chloe.
Oh, hi. Oh, welcome. Welcome. Okay, so just a heads up, we are recording this. So just putting that out there. But welcome, Chloe. Okay, so what is marshaling? I want to acknowledge that I stole this from the marshaling toolkit that was provided by Canadian Federation of Students, Ontario. So this was just cut and pasted basically in from there. But marshaling is when you are basically acting as a leader, or sometimes you're going to be just like someone who's on the barriers or on the side of the group of people as they march or walk down the sidewalk or street or whichever path we are taking. So marshals are supposed to provide support and assist just the general students and community members that join in on our action. So we can answer questions. We're supposed to be just like helpful point people, and we will be wearing high visibility vests, which we have a few of in the TMAPS office. So we'll wear those so people can identify us. And we are often like folks doing some of the planning and organizing leading up to a day of action. So we can be the people calling out chants, like we can often, marshals have megaphones, or you'll see they might have like headsets and be talking to one another to just keep track of like maybe we're going too fast, maybe we need to slow down. There's should be marshals, as we will cover more in the slides ahead, in the back, or sorry, in the start at the front. Should be some marshals in the front, who maybe are setting the pace and maybe consciously trying to walk slower, wanting to make things as accessible as possible for folks, and to keep us as a mass of people, like group together instead of being spread out and broken up with gaps between, right? Ideally. And then there'll be hopefully some marshals on either side, so right and left side of the group, and then some marshals in the back, like bringing up the rear and helping everyone stay together. I think I saw something. I saw, oh, something, listen, there's some chatting happening.
Oh,
Yeah.
Linda, I forgot to mention, I can
Yeah.
keep an eye on the chat if there's
Okay.
anything related to the presentation. Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you. That would be great. And yeah, feel free to chime in if we want to like verbalize anything that comes up in the chat. I'll try to move it closer so I can see it better as well. Okay. So yeah, I think I've covered what I was thinking to cover for this slide of just introducing the concept of marshaling. Does anyone have any questions about the role so far?
I just want to confirm for anybody listening later on that this also can apply to other actions and demonstrations, marches, and protests.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Good point. So we'll just move on. So for tomorrow, we are going to be having our own rally outside our student union offices, outside the Student Center on Gould Street at Toronto Metropolitan University. And we're going to talk about the issues, like why we're having the day of action before we get on our merry way, walking down or marching down the street to go to Queen's Park, which is the Legislative Assembly of Ontario for the province. Anyway, so why? So here are some of the reasons why participate and like why the Canadian Federation of Students voted and folks all decided democratically to have this important day. It's a lobbying effort. It's a way to put pressure on the governments, both of them, provincial and federal, to increase funding to post-secondary education, to make universities, colleges accessible to more people, to help alleviate the burden that is put on students paying exorbitant high extreme tuition fees, including international students, right? We want our government to hear us. So this is a kind of loud way to get folks' attention, to get on media coverage, to like be on the news channel, maybe to be interviewed by radio spokespeople and be on CBC or something to talk about the issues. So I think it's fair to say that students believe there's this big inequity, like there's sort of a injustice in the sense that there's been massive increases of tuition fees over the past number of years. And definitely we've seen universities in Canada, especially like kind of profiting off and exploiting international students with charging them sometimes 4 times domestic fees for international students to study at our universities and colleges here in Canada. We think that that's unfair. And I included some of the stats here too. There's just been a huge increase in tuition fees over the year, and it's just not sustainable. You know, students have, in a sense, like already mortgage debt load when they're graduating from their programs, or even when they have to drop out, unfortunately, from their programs, right? Sometimes students can't complete their studies because of the cost, and that's really awful. So basically, we're raising awareness. We're asking students and the community at large to just endorse and participate with us. And hopefully the government will heed our call and make university and colleges, if possible, free. That's the ideal, right? Like there are, I put more comments in the notes, which I can't see right now. Stupid me, silly me. But there's so many European nations, countries, and Scandinavian countries as well that have no tuition fees at all, even for international students. Some of them, there's less of those. But basically, it is possible for governments to make it a big priority and say, hey, we want everyone to be able to go to post-secondary. and they can make it free. They can eliminate tuition fees. It is possible. Some people, I think, might just have like sticker shock when people say that, but they should know that there are so many examples that we can draw from, and it could happen here. People need to have that reality check, I think. Okay, and so yeah, there's been major cuts to OSAP over the years by this Ford government being in place. So that's something that we all need to be mindful of and be careful when it comes to the next provincial election, right? And so this is all a way to get it on people's radars by getting out on the streets and saying, hey, this is a serious issue that we care about. We care about it so much that we're going to take the streets and go to Queen's Park in person about it. Okay. And yeah, together with strength in numbers, we can make a change. That's the goal. Okay, so here is the route. This is the route that we talked about previously. And I just want to flag that it doesn't absolutely need to be the route that we take, because as you can see on this slide, if we do take the proposed route that kind of goes a little bit out of our way down to Dundas, then that's across west to University, and then up University to College and to meet at College Street. That's our meeting point, by the way, where we're going to rendezvous with the other feeder march, the other students who are having a rally at Grange Park around OCAD and the AGO. All those folks are going to be coming up. They won't be taking University, by the way, which I've learned through email exchanges. They're going up some side routes and then over, but they do want to take and like hold College and University, that big intersection, for a little while, like maybe, who knows, 5 minutes, just as a way of holding up traffic to get everyone's attention. Yes, some streetcar folks may not like it. People driving may not like it, but this is a means to call people's attention to our concerns, right? So we could go the faster route, which would be taking that 19-minute route, which you can see that's just in gray, and it's more pedestrian friendly, especially if we have smaller numbers. And it would save us some time and save people some like time on their feet. If people have mobility issues, it might be nice to have the faster route. It just means like more like crossing streets and kind of exploring. I haven't walked this route. Like, I don't know if you can see. No, you probably can't see my cursor. Maybe you can. I don't know. But like along through, cutting through around where, what's it called? Oh, the cursor's visible. Oh, that's nice. What is that space called? Where it's like just shopping. There's like shopping areas, and it goes by some new condos and
Yes,
to Bay.
College Park.
College Park. Yes, thank you. That is College Park. And this is sort of the park area that we could walk through, cut across to get to Bay and College, and then go by the police station nicely, probably on the sidewalks, because just so folks know, I don't know, I'm having low expectations about our numbers of people that will have to go on the march with us. So it would be okay to just stay on the sidewalks and then get up to College and University to meet the bigger mass of people. Like, I'm going to open it up to you all just to get your thoughts. I discussed this previously for those of you that were at the Day of Action Planning meeting earlier today, that this would be a good time to just decide what our route will be. And you can see the time estimates there. What do folks think? Should we go with what we talked about previously, go all the way to University and then just straight up north, or take the faster route? I see a hand. Annie, go ahead.
Hey folks, so I wasn't really at the previous meetings. So like just right now I'm thinking like we could gauge with the numbers that we have tomorrow, like kind of like at the teardown, and if we have like a sizable like number of people, then we could maybe stick with the route. But then if we have like lower number, I wouldn't mind like at that point just be like, yeah, let's take the more quieter pedestrian friendly route, like for, yeah, just for accessibility purposes as well. So like staying flexible like until like tomorrow, and we'll decide. So that's what I'm thinking.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping, if possible, to just tell CFS folks what our route will be, like definitively, just so they know. Because I think, and then also there's a risk if we don't decide right now, and it might change tomorrow, that I might get flustered and not even update them. I don't know. There's just a risk of that. I don't know. But I also am interested to hear other people's thoughts, because um, if people have strong opinions, it would be good to know. I don't think we've printed anything that has the route actually on it. I think I was thinking of doing that to share with folks, but I don't think we actually did make anything that has our route on it. I see stuff in the chat here. So Maya says, and to confirm, APUS will be with us tomorrow and walk from Gould Street. So I think that no, actually, they're just going to be with us for food stuff. And then I think at what time? They have to leave and be at 12:30 for speeches at Grange. I think that they might be speaking, or they've already committed to being at Grange Park, so over by OCAD, for when they're doing their rally there. Oh, Andrea did say that in the TikTok video. Okay, so maybe we should just stick with this route, because I did communicate it to Andrea. That's right. So it did get released publicly. So maybe we should just keep it simple and go with what was already communicated. Yeah.
I agree.
Sorry.
Oh, I said I agree. I think there is a pro to the more pedestrian route. And then there's another pro with the fact that there'll be more visibility with cars. So people driving by on Dundas University, even on the streetcars, can be like, oh, what's happening? Oh, right, free education for all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I think we probably have consensus. We will go with the original route proposed, and that was announced on TikTok. And it's just a bit more straightforward. It's not as many like, woo, so it'll be a bit more simplistic for folks marshaling. The only thing is that I think we will stay on the right-hand side of the street. Like if you look carefully at this map that you see on the slide, it looks like we go up the left-hand side of the street to go north. But let's actually stay on the right-hand side, because it'll just be more, we won't have to cross that giant street. Does that make sense? Hopefully.
Yes, that sounds
okay. Awesome. So any other questions about the route or anything before I go on to the next slide? Hearing none. Pardon me as I eat an apple also. Okay. So here's the timing for tomorrow. So we are going to be setting up starting at 10 or 10:30. Malik, do you want to talk about this at all, like the time frame, or should I just keep running with it?
Sure, yeah, I can do that. No problem. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna be there around 10. So is Apis. They're gonna try to make it for 10, but we've given ourselves a little buffer. So regardless, 10:30 is when setup begins. We have one confirmed volunteer. Hopefully we'll have more. Yeah, we had three initially, but that's okay, things change. And I'm glad that this is happening to begin with. So 10:30, we're gonna set up. The plan for that is we're taking space in the inside of the student campus center lobby, as well as the outside of the student campus lobby. So on the inside, we're gonna have breakfast from 11 a.m. till it runs out. I suspect it'll run out at 1 or maybe before. And there'll be a one table there for some of us to explain, including volunteers, to explain what's going on, the day of action, why we're having a free breakfast, the fact that this is to like help power us up. Obviously a free breakfast is a free breakfast, that's the point of it. But we're all trying to make these connections, fuel ourselves, fuel each other. And outside the student campus center, 55 Gold Street, there's going to be some art making. I hope it's not going to be as cold. I don't think it will be. Regardless, there's going to be tables outside with free snacks, so like chips, Halloween candy, maybe some juice, water, and we're hoping to have people be interested in what's going on there so that we can also direct them to the food on the inside, but also we'll have arts and crafts, more specifically a place to make your own poster. So we're including our classic TMAPS outreach art space and specifying it so people can feel even more involved in the day of action, because it is our day of action as students, as people involved in the students movement. So you can make your own poster there with the materials we'll provide. Then we'll move on to the speeches. So by this point, breakfast will be over, and it's going to be an open mic format. We have a couple of people who've volunteered to speak, so we'll ensure that happens, as well as the point is to have students be able to speak their mind, speak their truth, just share really, because that's not something that is often done as frequently as we would like it to be. And we want to make sure that people's voices are heard. Like that's the point of the speeches, to express ourselves, to hear each other, to express to the university, express to the government, provincial and federal, that this is what students demand, this is what we need, this is why it's important. We've reached out to some student groups. Some hopefully will be able to come. They'll let us know for sure today. And regardless, we're just trying to outreach to the people walking by. Then they'll bring us to 1:30. After speeches, I'm not sure how long speeches will take. We put about an hour for it. It might take a little shorter. Regardless, we'll begin tear up or tear down. We'll begin tear down, and I'll be there to finish things up. And then Lyndall and some other folks will be there to begin the walk to College and University Avenue. And that will be at 1:30.
Yeah, awesome. So just to flag, like I inserted this arrow here to just point to 1:30, because like that will be departure time for Marshals. And I was thinking that it would be maybe for Marshals, just because Marshals would need to be very aware of the timing, that we would need to pick up and hopefully be wearing our high visibility vests, maybe have the things that we're going to take with us on the march, which might be a megaphone, might be a bottle of water that's in a tote bag or something, so you can have water to make sure your voice and throat are okay as you're maybe chanting a lot. Anyway, but just get prepared. The Marshal gets prepared time would be at like the end of the speeches. I was thinking like, or at 1 p.m. definitely we'll try to congregate. I might be on the next slide. Maybe I need to come to the next slide around this detail, but we'll basically make sure Marshall's all ready to get going. And then we start moving and leaving and making noise. And we can have the noisemakers that, was it Jen was talking about from APIS earlier today? That might save our voice, which is always a good thing. and start heading out to march or walk to College and University Avenue. And just to reiterate, as I said previously, the goal is to hold at 2 p.m., actually right at that intersection of College and University, to stop traffic for a little bit, just for a little bit, I think, not to be too obtrusive, but just to have a bit of a direct action thing. And then up to, because if people like basically College and University is just south of actual Queens Park. Like Queens Park is up here, and it's all like green space. And so it's once we get to College and University Avenue, marshals can be like, whoo, we did the main part of our job in terms of getting people to the more like safer zone, which was the green space of all of what surrounds like the Queens Park area and the legislative building. And that's where CFS will have everything set up for the bigger rally, more speeches. And that's the big action. And so hopefully people can hang around for that. So it's going to be just probably after 2 p.m. that will be like right up there on the steps-ish of Queens Park. And they'll probably have like a stage set up and everything where speakers will be calling out chants and going over, like, again, the reasons why we're having this day of action. So, and then everything should be done definitely, I'd say probably before 5, like to have a 3-hour rally at Queens Park, like people, anyway, it won't be that long. Like, I really think we'll be wrapping up sooner than that, just in terms of thinking of your time and your hours for the day tomorrow. And while we're here, I want to flag that maybe we should be just thinking for some of us to bring maybe a trolley or like what's it called? Like a wagon, or something to put the placards, like the pieces of wood and the signs onto, to bring them back so that we can reuse them. Just flagging that for our planning for tomorrow. Oh, yes. I talked about this a little bit already, but basically, here are the positions of where marshals could be to just try to keep our group together and safe. So I'm volunteering to be like one of the lead marshals. I'm comfortable doing that, so I could be at the front. And it's good to have a buddy system with marshaling. So no one will necessarily be alone. So if possible, we would kind of pair up. So there ideally would be 2 people as marshals at the front, at least hopefully 2 people on either side. So 4 people doing side marshaling, and then 2 people at the rear to kind of bring everything up together to help people stay as a group. So we'll see what our numbers are though. Moving on. Okay, so we have just a more of a breakdown of when we leave. So, oh yeah, I was thinking at 12 that marshals could have a more in-person, just little check-in meeting. Maybe there could be a more precise location. We'll see. I don't know if anyone has any ideas about that, like maybe a little nook where we could just touch base. Oh, something. Oh, I have to admit, Andrea. Okay, here's Andrea. Welcome back. Anyway, maybe we can meet even by the side, like the wall of the student center in the lobby, towards where the desk for the conference center is. Just as a location that's sort of a little removed, so that we can just check in and have all the marshaling things over by that side and have it there, just so we're a bit organized. And then so just a little check-in at 12, and then pick up the high visibility vest. High vis, that's the short form. Oh yeah, go, Malik, go ahead.
Whoa. Yes, I was thinking that's a great idea for the marshals to meet up. Perhaps could we meet in front of the Student Campus Center, to the side of in front, just because there'll be a lot of food and people lined up. And then there'll be the table as well for the outreach inside.
Yeah, that could work. And it's just yeah, it won't be, hopefully it's not nasty outside or anything, hopefully, right? Hopefully,
Hopefully,
no,
of
nice
course.
weather. And yeah, we'll just have to like then take the vests and things and megaphones like outside and leave them outside, and that should be fine. Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Rain is in the forecast, but not sure how. Oh, Maya's in the chat. I think rain is in the forecast, but not sure how much. Oh no, fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
so maybe we could just bring, it's good to be mindful of that now just in case, because we do want to be prepared. So like raincoats for marshals, people intending to go on the march to go up to Queen's Park. Umbrellas, I love umbrellas, but then they take up space and you don't want to stab anyone with your umbrella, but up to you, up to you. Anywho, so we'll have our materials and all the things, and we'll for marshals and have it outside as Malik suggested. And oh yeah, at 1:15, well, that's when we'll be like kind of wrapping up the speeches, I imagine. And we can congregate and just make sure we're outside, everybody outside that's marshaling to prepare to leave. And so we can be around the stage, maybe actually start to get on Gould Street. Though there's parked cars around. Anyway, we'll basically get onto Gould Street and then go west along Gould to Young, right? So that's what I was envisioning. Oh, and it's going to be chilly, so we'll have to dress warmly, I think. Oh, and there's rain ponchos. Oh, how nice. Here's I think a volunteer joining us, maybe. Welcome. Welcome to our Marshal training. We're just about probably midway through or so with our slides, but we can I'll put the slides in the chat again for the person who just joined. Okay, so yeah, we'll have the music playing. When the speeches are over, we can still have music playing to get people revved up to go on the march. And we'll be leaving at 1:30 because, as you saw on the previous slide, with the timing of walking to Queen's Park, it does take like basically 23 minutes. So the route we're going technically is what it says. But we will be going on a kind of slower walk usually to try to keep everyone together. Okay, and then just this is a piece around safety. So we want everyone to feel safe, of course. And for marshals, it can be really, really helpful for you to just keep your eyes and ears open for any conflict. Like if you hear any hecklers, if you hear any kind of concerning tones, interactions, or see anything happening, you could assess the situation, as the slide says. Think about how you could calmly, maybe just check in with folks. Determine if you are able to do a de-escalation or if you just want to alert other people. And since marshals will be in the buddy system, we'll have a partner somewhere nearby-ish that we could just say, hey, is that okay? Do you see that's happening over there? And you can think about sometimes just even if you're comfortable, just like kind of making sure to get in between people. Or sometimes being a marshal, if you're on the sides, you do, when we cross streets, kind of act as a crossing guard. And so if it's someone in a car yelling something, you can just be like, okay, bye. Like, like you don't want to escalate, so you don't want to yell back per se, but you can just like make yourself visible in a sense to try to like, in a sense, respond without escalating things, without causing tensions to increase. So yeah, like this might even be a workshop that TMAPS folks might want to consider around de-escalation broadly for folks in person in the office. I know that TMU safety folks actually regularly run de-escalation training, and I think it's free. So that might be something that we might want to look into in the future for our organization. Oh, and I see something in the chat here. Okay, about Andrea saying, forgot to link this after I got disconnected. It's a quick video with the schedule and the map. Oh, beautiful. Thanks, Andrea. Great. And hi, Anson, welcome again. Okay, so any questions about this, about the de-escalation kind of memo? Yeah, we just want to keep our folks together and safe and moving towards getting to our destination, which is Queen's Park, or specifically that first stop of university and college. Okay, and just as another kind of broad but very fundamental point that everyone should know is that as Canadians and like most humans in the world, hopefully, have the right to express themselves and have peaceful, nonviolent protests and assemble. In Canada, we have that right. So this means that you cannot be charged with an offense for simply attending a rally or a demonstration. So we're going to be acting within our human rights. Tomorrow, there shouldn't be any, there hopefully will not be any conflicts. We're not doing anything that's super contentious beyond maybe holding up people in traffic when we get to that point. But you know, you never know what people say, right? Like it could happen that people yell weird things, and police may be around, but there is a permit for the demonstration. They know that this is happening tomorrow. It should be kind of on their radars. It should be on their kind of awareness for tomorrow. So we shouldn't have to be interacting with the police really at all tomorrow at all. So just hopefully that's some peace of mind. Okay, and again, like if you see police, just know that you don't need to talk to them necessarily. And always de-escalate, like if the situation, if some kind of incident does occur, if it's our people, you might want to, you know, think about talking to them and helping them to get back en route and to hopefully be not very offensive. Sometimes we don't even know what our own members, our own like students like will say about things, right? So just, you know, we're going to be working to like keep things calm, peaceful. We're just going to Queen's Park to exercise our rights. That's all. Yeah, and you're welcome to defer to me, even if you feel stressed out about something. I will make sure folks have my cell phone number. I might even be at the march tomorrow, like with my headset in case I get messages or phone calls, or we need to, you know, walk faster. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully that doesn't happen. If we're late, we're a little late. It's okay. Yeah. So on to the next slide. Incidents. I've basically covered this already, I think, but just always deep breaths. Oh, is someone wanting to say something? No. You're welcome if you have a question. Anyways, just always deep breaths, trying to be calm, be careful with our tones, even though it is going to be loud. It's like I'm trying to talk about something peaceful and meditative, but really we're going to be kind of loud. So, but anyway, trying to keep things positive. And we will do our best to always have a buddy for those of us that are marshaling. And then, yeah, we can act as a barrier, just even between like traffic. Like, say I'm a side marshal and behind me is University Avenue. As we are crossing a street, like, you can just stop and be the crossing guard. And if someone honks, or maybe they're honking to support us, let's just hear it that way, hear it the positive way, because who knows. But yeah, we'll just try to be brave and not let what other folks might say like bother us too much, and we just get to our goal, get there to that place, and then we have a rally and then get home as warmly as we can, hopefully not getting rained on. And yeah, like if an issue does develop, you can let other folks know. That's why it's good to have like our contact information handy. Like I think tomorrow would be a good idea to create a, what's it called? Like a group and signal, maybe specifically for the day of action. So that we can easily message each other and be on the loop, like in the loop together. And yeah, if there's an emergency, if you see something like an accident, or someone is in real distress, and you think it's reached a point that it is an emergency, it's okay to call 911 for emergency support, right? So just, it's good. Marshals are the eyes and ears of the march, of the rally. So just be mindful of that. And then general tips, just to remember to wear comfortable walking shoes. Maybe bring your rain gear, weather pending. And it's always a nice idea to have a water bottle or some little drink box, a juice box, maybe, if you have it, I don't know. But have some water with you, especially in the warmer weather. But even if you I know I tend to be rather talkative and vocal, yelling, and it's always nice to have some water to help with your vocal cords. If you're able to carry that around, is all. Oh yeah, and then there's some more tips from the CFS toolkit for marshaling that I pasted in here. Oh yeah, and the ponchos. Yes, the ponchos. We can utilize the ponchos if necessary. Okay. And yeah, this is the end. But now, actually, I think we want to kind of tally and like kind of do a bit of a count to see like who's up for being a marshal tomorrow. Maybe I will at this point navigate away from the presentation, because I would love to open up, or maybe I have it over here actually. Yeah, I found it. The sign up sheet that Malik had organized for everything, I just sort of added in at the bottom. I'll put it in the chat. Everyone should have access, I believe, to it already, but that link, and then if you go to week 4 tab, and then at the bottom, I created a bit of a list where we can have folks who want to be a marshal sign up, and we can be in the loop together and try to, again, have the buddy system. So I've laid it out so we can be like 2 by 2 if possible. Any questions? Any feedback? Thoughts? Anything?
This was great, very thorough. Yes, very informational, as Maya said in the chat. Thank you so much for putting this together. It definitely helped to have it all laid out there. Tomorrow is gonna be good. Yes, please, if you're coming tomorrow, please add your name to the subsection that Lyndall added in the chat. Yes, thank you, Lyndall.
Hi, question. So, what if some of us cannot make it there because due to some of their personal reasons and other class schedules? Like, do we have to notify you before that, or that's okay?
Oh, I can answer that. Yeah, if you can't make it, that's okay. You know, things happen. We don't have like official academic amnesty, but many professors have agreed to make an accommodation for students. So if you wanted to come but can't because of school, you can let your professor know that you know, other professors have shared that it's okay because it's a student issue. At the same time, I'm going to post this in the chat. There's other ways you can participate. Uh, and one of them is you can share your experience